Independent grind powered by Tech 9.
All right, so we're on the phone with Reddish Blu. We really appreciate you doing this. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
We're doing all right. You sleep in, you wake up early. What's your lifestyle like?
Well, today I actually woke up somewhat early. Normally I sleep in early for me is like 10 o'clock, but normally I sleep in until like 1 or 2 just because I stay out at the studio until like 4 a.m. most of the time. But I haven't been to the studio in 2 days, so I just woke up early today.
Are you normally working on music late night?
Yeah, I'll usually go from like 1 or 2-ish in the afternoon to about like 4 in the morning. I like live there every single day. It's like my job.
That's pretty cool.
Back to back.
How do you treat the studio? Are you by yourself and just an engineer, or you have people coming through and stuff?
It really depends on what studio I go to. A lot of the time, like I prefer to go by myself just because I feel like no one can get in the way of my creative direction, and I don't feel influenced by anybody. Like nobody's energy's throwing me off. But like if I'm around people, it won't necessarily like make me not want to record or not want to work. Like I can still do what I want to do and get what I have to get done. But I would just prefer to be alone, or like prefer to be around 1 or 2 people.
Do you have like close friends that you let hear your music or let you hear record and you allow them some input? Or
the times that I do let people listen to my music before I put it out is just so they can hear it. I don't really necessarily need anybody's input to tell me whether or not I should put a song out, because at the end of the day, it's my song and I don't really care if someone likes it. So
yeah, no, that's good.
If I send it to people, it's just because I want them to hear what I'm going to release. And like, if it's my friend, like I hope that they enjoy it, like for their own like personal sake. But
how much of the music that you make do you release? Like, do you keep stuff stashed for a long time, or is it sort of you sort of just spontaneously release it?
Well, before I moved to LA, I was recording at home, so it was really just like what I needed to like get done. But like now, it's just that I moved to LA, and it's like I record like stacks on stacks. So I'll go to the studio and like I'll just like record like 5 songs at once and basically just keep recording them. Sorry, I have a distraction right now. That's why I'm like talking like this.
You're all good. It's a laid back
My
interview.
friend just came in here and was just trying to annoy me on purpose. So that's why I just like. So yeah, basically like I have a lot of unreleased music right now. But before I moved to LA, I was just recording things and putting them out. But now that I go to the studio like every day and I have that privilege to get like professionally recorded, I just have so much that I could release. But I'm just waiting for like the right moment. And like usually I'll know when the right moment is. Like I'll just have a feeling that it's the right time and I'll put it out.
So you're from Massachusetts, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm from a very small town in Massachusetts, like an hour away from Boston.
Before you moved to LA, you said you were making music. How long were you making music?
I've been making music since my whole life necessarily, like beside the fact that I've released like music on SoundCloud, I've been making music like since I was a kid. Like I've been writing songs and I was in chorus and like I just always loved singing, but I never really like took it as serious as I do now until like about a year ago. And that's when I was like at home, like I downloaded Logic on my computer. I started recording myself and I got like a snowball mic. And I don't know, that's when I really started taking it seriously, because I noticed that I was getting like feedback and like it was more of like, it's not so much a hobby, but I wanted to make it a career. If that makes sense.
So where were you putting music out before SoundCloud? Or did you
I
just
wasn't
make
putting
a
it
new
out.
SoundCloud?
I was in a band
Okay.
actually. Back at home, I was in like an indie band. I would sing at like the school and like randomly at like some shows. I was just like singing for fun. But I put my first song on SoundCloud in hopes that I would start a career for myself. Like that was my intent from the start of like putting my music on SoundCloud, is that I wanted to like create my own fan base and like develop my own following and like have people like really like enjoy like my sound.
How was that being in like high school as far as like friends go and stuff like that? Because I feel like you don't really see too many like women really branch out and kind of do like their own little thing or have their own little hobby gone. So what was that all like?
At that time, for my senior year, I went to college and I did this program called dual enrollment. So it was like that it was basically like you get college credits, but you're also graduating with your high school diploma. So I wasn't really around the kids that I grew up with as much. So they didn't really like see me do that. And at that point, I was just starting to put out music. So I don't think that people caught on to the fact that it was going the way that it's going now, like in the direction that like I've pushed towards, like while I've been out here and like everything. So it's definitely like a lot different than it was then. But now, like people from back home will reach out to me and stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, like that's so crazy that you're like in LA and you're doing like all this stuff."
Why LA, or why did you decide to go out there?
I decided to come out here because, well, I always wanted to move to LA because I knew that it had all the resources that I needed that I didn't already have back at home for me to better myself as an artist. Like there are other people out here I can relate to. Like back at home in Massachusetts, there weren't really people who were on like the direction that I was going on, and I wanted to be able to relate to other people and like be around people who could like make me feel affected by something, whether it was good or bad. I could feel inspired by something to just like make me feel. In Massachusetts, like back where I lived, I was just by myself a lot, and it's like the only inspiration that I could find was like inspiration like within myself. But like coming out to LA and knowing that it's like a different world and there are like great people and horrible people, like and just other people that do music, like I knew I would like have some sort of like be like motivated by it and like have some sort of impact like on myself and like my art, if that makes sense. And
who's someone you met? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Basically what happened was I just asked the universe to like take me out here, and then I literally like sat in my car and was like, universe, like bring me to LA when it's ready for me. And I thought that it would be August, but I ended up getting messaged on I was gonna say I ended up being hit up, but it doesn't sound right. But basically this guy messaged me, and he worked for Interscope and like another like really great major management label, and he was like, hey, we want to meet you, you should come out to LA, all this stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. Like this happened like a week later, so obviously the universe listened to my message and it happened. It was kind of crazy.
Who's someone you met since you moved out there that's like really has inspired you, sort of helped you create your sound?
Inspired me, like I feel like everybody that I've been around inspires me, whether it's in a good or bad way, just because they've impacted my life in such a way that it's so different from what it was before. So when I came out here, I was around a lot of people from like GBC, which is Goth Boy Clique, and I feel like they inspired me, and like I kind of learned from them like how people like move around in like the music industry and stuff. And then I ended up meeting Eddie Baker and like Chris Travis and like such Hollow Water Boys and stuff, and they've inspired me a lot and helped me. So it's really like the people who are like my core friends that have inspired me in a good way, and then everybody else that I've met and like the experiences that I've been through. Because for the first 5 months that I've been out here, like I've actually like experienced like a lot of different type of shit that's like totally changed my personality and got me out of my comfort zone, which is good. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, everybody you just mentioned and like the whole LA scene is like, if you're cool with all of them, I think you kind of already have an edge. And I think that's how I first heard of your music. I think from like House Phone or somebody like that.
Oh yeah, I love him. That's so like I love Monte.
Yeah, shortly after that, I think No Jumper got the retweet or something like that.
Yep, Adam
like, okay,
too.
like she's here.
Yep, I was really blessed to meet all these people, because I honestly like appreciate them all, like Adam, Lena, like everybody. Like I wish I could like mention everybody, but like when they hear this, they'll know who they are. Like Lil Xan, Arnold, like all of them. Like I fuck with them really heavy.
Was it hard to make the transition to LA, or did you seem like you kind of fit right in and it was just like a new plate for you?
Well, nothing is really easy, but that doesn't mean that I didn't appreciate the transition for what it was worth. Basically, like I just left my home. Like I told my parents, I was like, I'm leaving. Like I gave them a very short notice. It was like 2 weeks before. I'm like, I'm going to LA in 2 weeks and I'm not coming back. And they were like, no, you're not. Like you're gonna fail. Like you're not gonna be able to do it. You're gonna come home. And I'm like, no, I'm really not. So like I just left and like I just made it work for me for what it is. And like it's still a struggle, but at the same sense, like I'm really appreciating it for what it is because I know it's going to change when more stuff happens, and it changes every day, so it's great. So I really appreciate it and I love it.
How'd you even know where to like start? Like what was, I guess when you got out there, like how did you what was like your first moves?
Well, when I first came out here, like I had my own hotel because I was flown out by Interscope, so they gave me my own hotel and everything. And from there, like I just started meeting people, and like I got blessed to be put in a situation where I was able to stay with people and network and meet more people and work on music and meet engineers and producers and other artists. And it's just like I never really had a plan, and I feel like by not having a plan, it put me in the perfect situation for me to just like create my own destiny instead of trying to plan it out and then getting disappointed and holding expectations on myself and other people and like the situation for like what I wanted it to be. I just did it, and I just did what I want. And like some great things happened, some things made me feel some type of way, but like I was able to overcome them. Like not everything about it is like makes you feel good, but it's like still like a beautiful like process for like what it is. If that makes sense. Like I just made it work. Like I just know how to make things work for me. Everybody can do
it. No, I mean it's pretty inspirational, especially like you going from Massachusetts to LA. Like that's a crazy culture shock right there.
Yeah.
We kind of experienced the same thing here with like we're in Kansas City. I kind of did something similar with like moving to Florida and just like testing out the waters and seeing different things. What song would you say that kind of like maybe put you more on the map, or like you were like, okay, people are gonna really start taking me seriously now?
Definitely When I Get Too Sad, because when I released that song, I was like, I didn't even like it that much. I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. I didn't expect people to fuck with it as much as they did, but since you could hear like how I felt in the song, I think a lot of people like really liked that. And then Complex and Pigeons and Planes ended up finding it and they posted it, and that like got a lot more people like just started noticing like what I really was like doing.
And then you dropped You're So Beautiful right after that. Is that correct?
Yep, I dropped that about like 3 months later, and that did really well too. And I also didn't expect that, but it did really well, so that made me feel good.
I'm sure the Chloe Grace Moretz tweet helped.
Yeah, she just like did that yesterday, and it was doing very well before, or 2 days ago. My concept of time is just so fucked up because time doesn't exist.
It was 4 days ago.
I just like, yeah. So I think she did that like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, maybe. But that was really sweet. I don't even know how she found it, but that made me happy. I was like, oh, that's really cool when I saw it.
Do you, when like someone like Pigeons and Planes picks up your stuff, or like, you know, like Chloe Grace Moretz, do you notice that like change in like your followers or your plays or immediately, or like what's sort of, I guess, the direct impact of that?
I mean, when Pigeons and Planes posted my interview and my song premiere, and then Complex did it right after because they're connected. They're pretty much like through this. Mm-hmm. They're through Complex. Like Pigeons and Planes is through Complex. So, it really helped me a lot. I gained a couple thousand followers, and then like I used it to my advantage. But like everything that I've been doing is on my own. Like I can't really say that anybody necessarily like helped me so much. Like I've had like shout outs and people have like helped me a lot, but like I just really think that I developed like everything myself by just not caring what people thought of me, like to the extent that I had before, and then just like being myself and just like pushing it as much as I can. But it did help me.
The You're So Beautiful song actually got picked up by like a few playlists, I believe, on Spotify. We do like a lot of Spotify work, and I think that that was pretty huge.
That helped me a lot.
How do you feel? Do you feel like you have any pressure being a female in the industry, or even just being out in LA and stuff?
I do, because I know automatically people view women differently in the industry than they view men, and like you can like argue as much as you want, but it's just that facts are like straight in front of your face. But I at times I do, but the reason why I don't let it affect me as much as I would before is because I found like my core group of friends that like I know I can trust. I know that they respect me when I'm around new people. Like I'm always on edge, you know, like I just have to like feel out like what their intentions are. And like a lot of the time it's very hard, but I don't know. I just kind of like I keep a permanent bitch face on my face and like I just like mind my business and like I don't really like talk to people unless they approach me, but I'm also very friendly and open at the same time. So it's just like not everybody's going to understand me and like fuck with me, and that's fine. And also being a woman, not everybody's going to respect me, because if you're not like giving them pussy or like you're not like fucking with them on like a sexual level, like guys will get mad and they feel entitled, especially if they're in the music industry, especially. But what am I going to do? Let that affect me? Like I already have way too much shit going for myself. So it's just like your loss if you don't want to be a part of my movement and you're mad that I won't fuck you. Like whatever.
Do you feel like you have more female or male followers?
Honestly, I'd say I used to think that I had more male followers, but now it's like I really have a lot of female supporters. Like a lot. So that makes me feel good. Cool. I love my women supporters. It's pretty much the same, honestly. And I've like looked at the statistics on like Spotify and stuff, and it's like honestly like pretty equal. And Instagram too.
Is there anybody right now like in the SoundCloud age or like anything like that that are female that you like fuck with? And I don't know, not to say that you stole something of theirs, but you're like really influenced by?
No.
No.
No,
that's good though, I guess.
I don't feel like I honestly don't feel like I sound like anybody but myself. But there are people who have influenced me, like just the way that they move and like the way that they sing and stuff has influenced me. And like I take it and like make it like my own way. Like just like I just think that they're inspirational, like Kali Uchis, Abra, SZA, Lana Del Rey, Doja Cat, all of them. Like I feel like they're super inspirational and I love their sound. But I don't try to sound like anyone.
Bringing back to the You're So Beautiful track, I saw that you put like unmixed raw vocals. Like was that all just done through your Snowball microphone or?
Yep, it was recorded on my Snowball microphone and it's unmixed. I just cut out my breath.
That's pretty cool. Have you done any shows or anything?
I did a Ham on Everything event when I first came out to LA about like a month after I was out here. And it was really fun. I liked that.
Did you get a pretty good reception from that?
I did. I ended up getting a lot of new supporters, and like people just like really liked it. And it made me feel way better about performing, because when I performed at South by earlier this year, like I was so nervous. Like it was all right. Like it wasn't horrible. It didn't sound bad, but I was clearly nervous, very, very nervous. And when I was at Ham, like I just felt so comfortable, and like so many people came up to me and like congratulated me and said that they liked my music. And I had like some fans come up to me and like say that they like have been listening to me for a while. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. It's made me feel good.
Yeah, those Ham on Everything boys are pretty dope. I like them a lot.
Yeah, they are. I like Adam. Shout out to Adam. He's cool.
So anything that you can let us in as far as like new music or shows or anything that you got coming up?
I should be going on tour, I think, in February. It's like an all-girls tour. Like it's not confirmed, but it might be a thing. If not, I'm definitely going on tour after I drop my EP, which I plan on dropping in January, I think. January, yeah. That sounds good. Late December or January. I have a visual coming soon also.
This is the genius, Chris Calico. Cali, baby. Letting you know you're tuned into Tech Nine's Independent Grind on Dash Radio.